Hello friends, welcome to Selenium WebDriver Beginner Series. This is my 18th session of this beginner series. So in this session, we are going to learn about adding verifications to the test. As part of this session, we are going to discuss about what are verifications and why we need it, drawbacks of adding verification steps using Java code, what is TestNG, how to install TestNG plugin in Eclipse, how to create a sample test case using TestNG, understanding the annotations, what are assertions in TestNG and how to use them, and we will see few live examples using annotations and assertions in TestNG. So let's get started. So first we will discuss about what are verification steps. So verification is a process of comparing the actual behavior of the application with expected behavior. So in general, if you are testing something, then what generally we do? We do fill some pages, or let us take, we wanted to validate or verify a login screen. So what generally we do? We do enter username, we do enter password, we click on login, and if your login credentials are valid, then you should expect a home page, isn't it? So if your credentials are not valid, we will expect a error message. So means if you are testing any application, it's a combination of your user actions along with verification steps. So that is complete, these two actions is called as a testing, isn't it? So means we have to do certain interactions and we'll compare with our actual behavior of the application. So this is what we call it as verification steps. So let us take one example. So navigate to https://eclipse.blogspot.com, click on home page, verify the page title is displayed as home. So this is a verification step 1. And above two are actions. These are called as actions, and this is called as assertions or verification steps. And again click on OK button and verify that OMG you clicked is displayed on screen. So this is another verification point. And verify that cancel button is disabled. So this is another verification point. So combination of user actions along with validations is a complete automated test script, or it's a purpose of manual testing. So let us look at this scenario. How do we achieve in Java? Okay. So how to add verification steps in Java and drawbacks. So it is possible to add verification steps in Java using if-else conditions and print the pass-fail to console output. So this is the general practice we have done so far. So let us see this once with one example. So this is my example. You can say, look at this. So this is a simple test steps I have written. This is nothing but this is the same way. Like if you look at my screen, this is my previous slide. You see navigate to .clicklabs.blogspot.com. This is nothing but this step, and click on home page. This is nothing but this screen, and verify the page title is displayed as home. This is a verification step 1. So how did I do this in Java? I get the driver.get title using WebDriver command and comparing with my expected value. So this is actual. I'm comparing with expected value and printing it. If this condition is true, then make it as a pass. Else we are making it as a fail. So on the third step, click on OK button. Sorry, fourth step. And this is the fourth step. Click on OK button. OK button properties ID equal to button underscore 2. And once you click on that, you are verifying that this particular thing like OMG you clicked me is displayed on screen. This is a verification step 2. So let me show you this. So this is my application. And now click on home. This is the step 2. Now as I said, click over here and verify this message. So to click on this, you need to inspect, right? So button 2, this is a button 2, right? This is a property of OK button, and this is what I mentioned. And click is an action. And now to check this message is displayed or not, how do we check it? First we need to get text of it. So to get the text of it, first we need to identify this object properties. So here this object property id equal to display1. So means you need to write driver dot find element by dot id display1, and get text means that will return you this particular text. So this is what get text, and I'm comparing means if this is equals to this means whatever you are expected value, then make it as a pass, else make it as a fail. So and the last step would be, what is the last step? Verify that cancel button is disabled. So to do that, we need to know what is the cancel button properties. So inspect cancel button. This is a button underscore one, right? So now driver dot find element by dot id. We copied button one, right? This is id property. So that's why I have used by dot id button one. Dot is enabled is a method in Selenium WebDriver to check whether it is disabled or not. So what we are verifying, we should verify it. We are checking that it should be disabled. So in case if it is enabled means that's a fail case. So I said fail. If not enable means disabled, then that is a pass case. So this is how you can create your test script with some verification points using if else conditions in Java. So now let me run this, run as Java application. Let's see what will happen. This is opening WebDriver window. Navigating to the application, click on home page. So it does click on OK, and it validate rest of the stuff. Okay, it's clicked on OK, and if you look, you see this is terminated means completed and no errors, pass. So this is how you can put some validation or verification steps in WebDriver script using Java code. So but have we noticed any drawbacks in it? Let us look at it. So far we discussed how to create the steps. Now let us focus on drawbacks. So the first step, results cannot be stored. So as these are, past friends, once I close this session, you don't have reference of this. So you cannot store those results. And the second, console printouts are cleared once Eclipse closed. As I said, if I close the Eclipse, your results gone. And screenshots cannot be added. At certain times, your developer may ask, what is the proof of your fail? It means your script failed. This means we should have a screenshots. So that feature is not enabled, and we cannot share it to the client. Absolutely, you cannot share these result file to the client because those are not in a proper way. So these are the different drawbacks using Java if you wanted to validate the steps using if-else blocks. So now there are few things you can do or you can achieve it in Java too. That is means you need to extend your code, means you need to write some utilities using Java to take pass fail along with the screenshots. So those are like enhancing your framework, automation framework to generate your HTML files. So but that's an additional thing which you need to develop, and you need to spend a lot of time, and also it needs some expertise. So to overcome all this, there is a ready-made utility available called as TestNG. So now we are going to discuss more about TestNG. So what is TestNG? TestNG is a testing framework designed to simplify a broad range of testing needs, from unit testing to integration testing. So JUnit TestNG it's a competitor for JUnit plugin or JUnit unit testing tool or unit testing framework. So, but this supports developers unit testing along with automation testers testing framework with certain annotations and assertions. So that we are going to discuss. So advantage of TestNG, various annotations to manage your tests. So it has certain predefined capabilities which can make your test is more manageable. And multi-threaded means parallel execution. You can run at a time 2 to 3 tests on 3 browsers on your machine. So far, if you look at my earlier sessions, you only see one browser at a time, but you can achieve multiple browsers at a time in using TestNG. So batch execution. So you can run 10, 20, hundreds of tests at a time with single click. Just right click run, then it will run one by one. So that kind of granularity we can expect, or we can define, we can develop in TestNG. And test cases can be grouped and prioritized more easily. So in general, sometimes we may need to run smoke tests. Sometimes we may need to run regression tests. Sometimes system tests. So to run that quickly, we can group the certain test cases as per your business need. Like, I can make little test 10 to 15 as a smoke test group. So then whenever I receive an emails saying that please run smoke test, it's a simply I can run only specific smoke test using TestNG. So that kind of features are available in TestNG. And reporting capabilities. So as we see, we only able to achieve console outputs in Java, but here you can see the some kind of HTML format reports are available that can be easily shareable to the clients. And we have assertions or checkpoints to verify actual with expected values. So we can put some assertions. Assertion is nothing but verifications to check or to compare the actual with expected values. So in Java we used if else blocks, but in TestNG it would be more simplified and more advanced. So these are the different advantages we have in TestNG over Java commands. So remember, we are not going to cover entire things in this session, because to cover all these first we would need to know different TestNG aspects. So for that I'm planning to create another training session, like it's a kind of another YouTube series where I will only explain about TestNG framework related concepts. So but in this session I'm sure you will learn about what are the basic commands or what are the basic assertions we can use in TestNG to start with it. So let's move on. So the first step would be installing TestNG plugin. So far we see we created Java classes and methods. Now we will see how can we create TestNG test cases and how do we install the plugin. So to install the plugin, open your Eclipse and first check that whether it is already there or not, because there are few Eclipses are free. By default only you will see some plugins are coming up. So we need to check that. And now, and if it's not installed, then you can go to navigate to Eclipse Marketplace from help menu and search for TestNG for Eclipse. Then you will see this kind of search results, and click on install. So that step does the installation part. So let's do it right away. So this is my Eclipse. Now right click, new, other, and just checking that whether it is there or not. So if it is already installed, if you press TestNG, you might see some search. So nothing is coming up, right? TestNG if I type, but JUnit is there, but TestNG should have similar thing. So it doesn't have. So then let's install it. Go Eclipse Marketplace. Now search for it. TestNG. Go. Nothing popped up. There is a link 6 more browse for another. Search over here. Yes, it is. Click on install. Now the following solutions are not compatible with this version of Eclipse. So means maybe this is not supported for the version of your Eclipse, but still there is a way to install it. So let's go to this testng.org site, doc download, and you see there is a URL here, install from update site. So copy this URL. You can search in Google like how to install TestNG plugin, then you will get this link. Okay, go to help, install new software. Now search for it. Okay, So now this is looking for this. Now you got it, right? So select that. So select TestNG. So you don't need to have everything, but you can only select whatever you need. So basically most of the time we will be using these two, or only this also will work. Okay, so select whatever you wanted to you you would like to use. Okay, so now unselect it and select this. So now click on next. Now this is loading. Now select this and click on next. Now I accept the terms of the license agreement. Click on finish. Just ignore install anyway. Now this is installing the plugin. Now restart the Eclipse to take the effect. Now Eclipse is restarting. Now it's loading all the components. Okay, so now you can check it whether the installation is successful or not. Now select any package, right click, new, and this time we will be selecting other, and see the TestNG has there, because the TestNG class is appeared. It means the installation is successful. Now you can select these annotations. Okay, so that we will discuss in next slide. So this is about how you can install your TestNG plugin in Eclipse. Okay, so let's move on to the next, creating a sample TestNG script. So to create a sample TestNG script, first select the source package where from in Eclipse where you wanted to create your test case. So here it is src_main.java. Then select new, and instead of Java class, select other. And when you select other, you will see this TestNG. If you don't find it over here, just search in this box. So this will appear. Now select the annotation you wanted to use. So I'm selecting only few. These are the important: before test and after test. These two, and say click on finish. So then your first Selenium TestNG's template will be created. So let's do this. So select the package. This is the first step. Now right click new and package day_18. So this is the 18th session, right? I created. Now right click new, and don't go to class now because we are moving to TestNG template. Okay, don't use Java one. So if you don't appear, if you don't see that, just search it, then you will get it. Select this TestNG class. Now you will see the different components are loaded. Okay, so remember here, so as this package is loaded automatically because you selected here, and means you started it from over here. Okay, so if you don't start it from over here, like suppose you selected this and then right click and new TestNG, means it will ask you to enter your package name. Okay, so then enter anything you wanted to create. If not, then select which package you wanted to, in which package you wanted to create a test case. Select that package and right click, then you will get this, and give the test case name. So what is the name you wanted to create? And here these are the things called as annotations. So these are the features which will help us to achieve many of your execution flows and all. So these are all we will discuss in TestNG framework YouTube series. So but in this session I am going to give you clear details about before test and after test. Okay, so just focus on that. Okay, so just move on to the next. Okay, so I'm giving as a name, you can give any name, sample test, before test and after test. Select these two annotations. So now these are the annotations created. Okay, So if you, I'm sorry, I missed something over here. Okay, so if very first time you see very first time you will get these errors. Okay, so if you get these kind of errors means so some libraries are missed. Just right click and view, then just right click. Okay, so and see, you need to add TestNG library over here. Just a moment. Yep, right click. This is it, our TestNG library. Then after some time, all the libraries has been added to your project. Now you will see r.testng.annotations.test, and these are all automatically added by your TestNG. Okay. So now before test and after test at the rate test methods are added to your test script. So let us discuss more about these annotations here. Okay. So the TestNG now will have one test method over here, means this is nothing but this is a test method at the rate test annotated. So means this is a method name, and if any method name is annotated means at the rate, and something means at the rate test means if any method annotated with at the rate test means this is treated as a test method. This is treated as a test method. Okay, and this is the after test and this is the before test method. It means so before running test method, first the TestNG will execute the code written in at the rate before test area. Okay, so means whatever if I write something over here, so this gets executed first, then after that will go to the test method. Now test method code gets executed. So then once the test method code gets executed, then the control shift to at the rate after test and this code gets executed. So this is how your TestNG will take care of your execution flow. So I'm repeating it once again. So first at the rate before test will be executed at the rate before test. Okay. So and once this is done, then your test method code will be executed, nothing but at the rate test this code gets executed. So once this is done, then your at the rate after test method gets executed. So this is how your execution flow will be defined automatically by TestNG. And suppose if you have multiple test methods, this is possible. So means one TestNG test case can have multiple test methods, test 1, test 2, test 3. So if this is the case, then do you think at the rate before test executed twice? No. So this is only executed once, and then all test method gets executed, and finally at the rate after test gets executed. So this is the flow. Okay, so that is automatically taken care by Selenium TestNG plugin. Hope you got me right. So let's move on to next. Okay, so now understanding the annotations. So as I discussed just now at the rate before test, so this annotated method will run before running the method annotated by at the rate test, as I said. So before running at the rate test code, first this at the rate before test code gets executed. Then at the rate after test, this is once after running all the test method, this code gets executed. Now at the rate test is nothing but all your testing code, actual code will exist in this particular at the rate test annotated method. So this is the execution flow of your TestNG. So let us automate the below three scenarios to understand how this execution is happened in Selenium TestNG method. Okay, so let us do it. The first scenario is open the browser, go to this website and check the page title is .click automation labs. This is the scenario 1, and this is the scenario 2. Go to over here and check the page title is text box says. Okay, and scenario 3 is go over here, go over here, go over here. So now this is the scenario which we wanted to automate it. So before I jump into automating it, let us utilize the concepts of annotation effectively. So now if you look at this scenario carefully, open the browser. This is the first step. Now do something. Now this now do something and do something and close the browser. So now open the browser, close the browser is only one time activity. So now, right. So in such cases, can I move this code, means open the browser code to @before test annotation code, isn't it? Because I wanted to run it only once. And now this code, I can move it to @test annotated method. And this code I can move to @test annotated method. And these two lines of code, even I can move it to @test annotated method, means three test methods. And the close the browser, I can switch it to, means I can move this code to after test annotated method, so that this will make effectively use of TestNG annotations, and you can effectively run your test script. So now if I don't use it, then I have to create three web browser instances. Means first open the browser, do this task, and close the browser. Again open the browser, do this task, close the browser. So but now I'm opening only one time and doing the test 1, test 2, test 3, and completing, closing the browser. So let us achieve this. Okay, let's see how we can achieve this. So I'm creating a new test, right click, new, and I'm not creating class anymore. Remember, I'm creating only TestNG. This is a TestNG class. Okay, select this. So now I can say run tests using TestNG or whatever you'd like. Okay, so now select these two annotations, @before test, @after test. Okay guys, so see, these annotations are created. Now by default, TestNG create at the f as a test name. Okay, this is the test. Okay, so now make it as a scenario underscore one. Okay, so now similar kind of stuff, I need three scenarios, isn't it? Because that is the requirement. So create public void scenario underscore 2. This is the scenario 2 I'm creating. Okay, so similarly I'm copying this and creating scenario 3. Scenario 3, right? So three scenarios are there. Okay, so but if I run this, does this execute three scenarios? No, until unless you say @test, it will not consider as a TestNG executable method. Okay, so do this, press control space, and one more thing over here, don't select JUnit. We are annotating with TestNG annotations. So select this. Make sure this is should be TestNG. Mouse over here, you should see TestNG. And this is the scenario 2. Now I'm copying it and creating another. Sorry, it's already there. I'm copying only annotations, or you can just simply annotate this also @test control space. This is the one. Okay. So three tests are I have created. Now first I wanted to have a before test. Okay, so I'm moving this on topmost. Okay, you can keep it anywhere, but just for our convenience, I moved this on top of the class. So this is before test. So in before test, what we wanted to create, what we discussed in before test, we will be keeping only open browser code. So what is the code to open the browser? Right. So we can copy this, right? So this is the code to open the browser. I did it. Okay. So once open the browser, what we wanted to insert to do, go to this and go to this. So this is the URL, right? .classblogspot.com. Okay. So to go to that URL, what is the command? Driver.get. So but driver is not accessible here because it is defined in this method, right? So this is a method variable. So you cannot access it over here. This is one problem. So to overcome, so declare this WebDriver over here as a class variable and WebDriver like this. Okay, so now this is a class variable, right? So now any of the test method can execute it, right? So this can access whatever the code up to this part. This whole class can access this. Okay, so there's a Java concept driver.get, isn't it? So now you write your code. This is the URL, right? .clickslabs.blogspot.com up to this, right? So copy this URL. Okay, paste it over here. So now the first step is automated, right? So now what is your next step? Check the page title is .click automation labs. So to check the page title, so what is the command? We just checked it here over here, right? This is the page title. Okay, so just copy this code and we are comparing this with we are checking this as a .click automation labs. The .click automation labs. So for a safe side, we will copy this from the application itself. Okay, so we are comparing this, right? This is a get page title will return this. So this is also similar, the header also. I'm just copying it for our script purpose. Now paste it over here. So now I'm opening the web page and comparing this. If this is equal, then test case pass, else fail. So this is my first case. And the scenario 2, go to this URL and verify page title as a text boxes. So now I can copy this code, isn't it? Simple. Now I will put it under this. Now I'll change as per my requirement. So my test step says go to this URL, right? So copy this URL. It's nothing but I think this is the URL. It was mentioned. Copy this. Okay. So now put it over here. And now my expectation would be verify the page title is text boxes. Okay. So now change this to text boxes. This is the scenario 1. Okay, so now the scenario 3 is go frames and check the page title is frames. So even I can copy the same code. Okay, so now the URL I need to change it to the frames. So better copy the frames URL over here. So instead of clicking, I'm directly navigating to this page. So you copy this code and put it over here, frames. And now also I'm verifying the page title as a frames. So these are 3 tests. So once you are done with your test, now your job is to close the WebDriver. Driver.quit. Got it, guys? So this is what we visualized over here at the red before test and the test method 1, test method 2, test method 3, test method after test. So now let us execute it. Okay, so to understand very clearly, let us put some breakpoints in each test method, each annotated method. Here one breakpoint, here one breakpoint, here also one breakpoint, here also one breakpoint. And remember now focus more on how the flow is executed now. So right click, run as Java, no. Debug as TestNG test. You won't see the Java now because it's a TestNG method, right? So you will only see TestNG test. So if you don't get this means your Eclipse doesn't have the plugin installed. So install the plugins that I explained beginning of this session. So do this. Now see at the rate before test gets executed. So this is what we visualized over here. At the rate before test gets executed. So this is done. As per my explanation, it should execute only one. Okay. So this is done. Let us see. Now this should launch a web browser. You see this is launched. The browser only launched, but no URL open now because that is written in @test method. Now before test done, okay, just continue. Now you see @test method, the focus switch to @test method. So this is what I explained over here. Now this is running. Okay, so just continue. Now you see your web browser is moving to it and your test case done, and now scenario 2 is moved. Okay, and this is all run in a single WebDriver session. Okay, this is the WebDriver, not this one. This is the browser opened, and in same browser only the test will execute. So now the method 2 is executing. Okay, just continue so that it will come and stop at next breakpoint. See, text box is opened. Okay, and it's validated the step, and scenario 3 is open, another test method. This is nothing but this is done, this is done. Now we are at this point. Okay, so if I run this, now the frames open and it's completed. Even I think I don't have the breakpoint over here. Then driver.quit executed and your browser gets closed. So this is done, this is done. So this is how the TestNG annotations will help us to understand or to manage your test execution modes. Okay, so I'll run in a run mode just to see how this works. Notice that all executed in a single browser session, not 3 sessions opened. Okay, so now the first scenario is executing. Done. Now text boxes, navigated to text box. Now the frames. Done. And your test case is passed. And you see something created. We'll discuss about this. Okay. So this is all about importance of annotations. Okay, so let's move on to the next, adding assertions. So as I said, assertions are verifications or checkpoints. So means we are comparing actual with expected. So if there is any mismatch, assertions will fail and that will noted in your HTML result file. So TestNG generated HTML result file. So that I will show you. So the first is assertEquals. This statement is used to compare the actual with expected value. So this compare both and mark as fail if any mismatch. Okay, so this is the way we need to use. First import the statement, import static org.testng.assert.assertEquals, and there are two methods over here. This is a method 1, this is a method 2. Okay, so assertEquals means this will compare these two values, and this is also compare these two values, but if there is any mismatch, means if there is any mismatch, then the message which we put over here will be added to your result file. So let's see one example. So now this is assertEquals 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3, 5. So now what this assertEquals will do, it will compare this both. So 2 plus 3 equal to 5. Okay, so this is 5 and this is 5, means both are equals. I'm also expecting, I'm checking that both are equals only. So means this will pass. And the second is assertEquals 2 plus 4 means 6. Is 6 comma 1 both are equal? No. So but I said both are equals. I am checking, I'm telling that, you know, assert these two are equal. So means this case will fail. And this assertEquals 1 comma 1 both are equal, and I written both are equal. So if there is only any mismatch only, this will be printed. If not, then this message won't be printed in your result file. Okay, so this is about assertEquals. We'll see one example for each of these asserts. So now the second is assertTrue. So this is also one of the best widely used assert. This is used to check the provided condition is true, marked as failed if not true. So this is the usage. Similarly, you need to import this class, and there are two methods: assertTrue condition with message if there is any failure. Okay, so assertTrue means we are telling TestNG that this condition must be true. So if this written false, means this assert gets failed. So that is about assertTrue. So now this is the step 1. AssertTrue means I'm telling that this should be true. So is 4 greater than 2? Yes. Okay, if this is this condition met, then this assert will pass. If this don't met, nothing but this case. Look at this. Assert true. 2 plus 2 greater than 2, less than 2. 2 plus 2 means 4. Is 4 less than 2? No, but I am saying make sure this should be true. So then this assert gets failed, and the fail will mark in a execution report. Means the TestNG report, it will mark as failed. And if you wanted to mark as failed with some user defined message, then you can use this method. Assert true 1 less than 2, isn't it true? So means this will pass, but this message won't be entered. It won't be appear in your result file. Suppose if I say assert true 1 less than 2 means this condition is false, and this assert will also, it will fail, and this message will be printed on your result file. This is about assert true. So now let us move on to assert false. So assert false is also another verification checkpoint which can be used to check the provided condition is false. So this will be marked as failed if the given condition is false. Okay, so in HTML result file this will mark as fail. Okay, the usage are import the statement, similarly assert false and with some condition you wanted to assert, and assert false with some condition and some message if the assertion gets failed. So the examples are, so I'm assert false, check that these are false, means I'm saying that this should be false. So is it false? 4 less than 2, no, it's true only. So means this assert gets failed, and if fail event or fail will be returned to your HTML result file. The similarly assert false 2 plus 2 less than 2. 2 plus 2 means 4. 4 less than 2? No, false. I'm also saying false. So means this condition will be passed in your test report. And assert fail false 1 less than 2. 1 less than 2? Yes. 1 less than 2, right? So, but I said assert false means I said this condition is false. But this is not a false, this is a true condition. Then this assert will fail, and this particular message will be reported in your execution report, in TestNG HTML report. So this is how assert false will work. Okay, so let's do this one example so that you will get some clarity over here. So navigate to .clicklabs.blogspot.com, click on home, verify the page title is displayed as home, click on OK button, verify that OMG you clicked me displayed, verify that cancel button is disabled, verify that below text boxes are displayed on screen. Okay, so this is pretty much what we did on Java. Okay, so let us look at that and convert that into TestNG. Okay, so this is similar thing, right? So you can copy this code and you can use it, or you can directly write on your own. Let's try. So right click, new, you can say not class. Okay, other TestNG class. Okay, assert examples. Okay, select before test and after test. If you select it, it automatically created your template. Control A, Control I, just to indent, properly align it. Okay, so now here you need to change the test method name with meaningful name. Okay, test what you can say, test homepage. Let's take any name, test homepage. Okay, so as a best practice, what I said, we need to have before test on top, and this before test you need to use it as a browser launching. Okay, so for this I am copying this, we just seen this example, right? So I'm copying this and putting in before test here, and you need to declare this variable. Okay, so not this, we need to declare as a global variable, means class variable. So WebDriver control space UC driver. Okay, so now the WebDriver browser is launched. This is the one. And what is the first step over here? Navigate to .clicklabs.blogspot.com. Okay, so this is the first step. So means we need to navigate to this page, and you will be writing this in your test home page. Okay guys, so driver dot get is a command to navigate to any URL. So this is the command I written. Now what is the next step? Let's see the next step. What is the next step? Click on home. Okay, so to click on home, we need to know what is the first its attributes. So right click and click on inspect. You see this is a hyperlink and the link text is home. So you can use driver dot get find element by dot link text. I copied home, right? Paste over here and dot click. This is step 2. Click on home page. So now what is the third one? Verify the home page title is displayed as home. Okay. So similarly we did this in Java, right? This is right. Verify the home page title is home. Okay, you can copy this. But now notice this. This is quite interesting. Now this is Java method or Java way of verifying, but now we will be using the TestNG method. So what would be the best here? We are comparing two values, means actual, means what is visible during the runtime, what is the title of your web page with your expected value. So to compare two values, we will be using assertEquals. Type few letters, control space. Now you see org.testng.assert. Select this. Okay. So now actual means what is present on UI, means when you're running the test, what is visible on screen, that is actual, right? So here actual is driver dot get title. Copy this. Okay, so now you're comparing with home. That's it. So 1 2 3 4 lines of code is achieved in single line. This is what assert. Get you guys? So this step is automated. Sorry, this one. Now click on OK button. So to click on OK button, so what is the code? We have this as well. This is to click on OK button. So I'm just copying it. This is to click on OK button. Now what is that? Verify that this is displayed on screen. Okay. So we did the same in Java. This is what? This 4 lines, right? So copy these 4 lines. Now similar way, instead of 4 lines you can use assertEquals, right? Just type assert control space assertEquals, and what is actual over here means what is present on UI. This is the one actual, and what we are expecting, comparing this with this. Got it? Simple. Now you need to have these 4 methods, 4 lines of code, sorry. Done. Now what are the next? This is done. Verify that cancel button is disabled. Okay, so I think this is also we did, right? This is only is enabled, means if it is enabled for fail, it means else for pass. Copy this. This is also same code to check for cancel button is disabled. This is the cancel button ID. Just to verify, you can do it. Is it really cancel button? Inspect. Yes, button 1. Okay, so means button 1 is enabled, means disabled. So now which one we can use it? Assert equals. You can use assert equal, or you can say assert false. Assert false, this one. Okay, or you can use this 2 methods, right? You can use either this. So assert false means I'm telling WebDrive, I'm telling that this should be false, means is enabled. False means disabled, so verifying the disabled. In case if this fails, means what message you wanted to write. Oh, it's a fail button is enabled, isn't it? Because I'm checking that using assert false, I'm saying that this should be false. If should be false means is enabled, false means it should be disabled. So that is what I'm verifying over here. Okay, so here there is a condition I have added. Oh, its fail button is enabled. Okay. Oh, something miss over here. No, we don't need this code. Okay. So now what are the next two steps? Verify that these two are present on page. Okay. So to check that, first we need to know what are these two elements properties. DOM property, right click inspect, id equal to fname, id equal to lname. Okay. So copy this, first declare these elements. Driver dot find element by dot id fname dot is displayed true, right? Is displayed true. So now I'm expecting this should be true, right? So in such cases, what should be my assertion? Assert true, isn't it? Because that's what I'm expecting. Assert true with some condition you can do. Now here, this is my expected. Assert true, it should be displayed. That is what my expectation. And if in case this is failed means first name text box is not on screen. Text box is not displayed, isn't it? Right? So do it. And the similarly, last name is also same. We can use the same assert true and lname, changing the property object ID of this last name, and last name text box is not displayed. So this is how you can execute it. Okay. So assume that now I wanted to mark one of the test case failure, then you can change it to assert false. Okay, so that we will see once we run once after executing this, we will see that example. Now right click, run as, and also you can write driver.quit to close your browser. This is always a best practice. Close your browser after done with your test. Right click, you can do it or you can directly run it from here also. Okay, so do it over here. Now you see what will happen. This will open the WebDriver. Open the URL, click on OK. Now you click on OK button. Yes, done. You see something was executed over here. Default test runs once, fail is 0, skips 0. Test runs 1, passes 1, fail nothing, skips nothing. So now this you will see this kind of grid. If it is pass, you will see this is your package name. Okay, nothing but this is your package name, day 18, and this is your test underscore home page, means this is your method name. Nothing but this. Where is that assert example, right? Test underscore home page. This is your method name. Okay. So now everything is green. So now where is your result file? As I said, this will generate some HTML result file. Okay. Just to view that, go to your project path. This is the path. Some Eclipse will have this. If not, you can copy this and open in File Explorer. But I can use it directly from here. You should open this your project. In this, it will create test output, and here you will see the emailable report. Okay, so this is the execution report which is created by TestNG. So I have executed one test underscore home page, and this is pass and started at this, and the total duration milliseconds, the time it was taken, and how many tests passed 1, skipped 0, retried 0, failed 0, and the total execution time is this one. So this kind of emailable report you can send it to your client that, oh hey guys, this is the test I executed. And if you have multiple, that report will have multiple execution data. And also you can see index.html. This is also similar one. So this all suit and all will discuss in TestNG related YouTube series, but here we'll discuss only the few things. And you see the passed methods and the test home page. Okay, so this is when you get all test cases passed. So let us see how we will see the report if there is a failure. So now this is my expectation is last name should be displayed. Assume that my expectations are means in my test I said I don't want to view this means last name should not be displayed. In such case, what should be our assertion? I'll say assert false. Assert false. Last name means I'm expecting that it should not be displayed on page. In case if it is displayed, I should say last name ho. You can say ho. Oh, it's a fail. It's a fail. Last name text box is displayed. Okay, just to reproduce the fail case, I'm changing some changes to it. Now right click run as. Now the old results will be replaced. Now let us look at this. Open the browser. Now you see some failure over here. This is a red. And what is the assertions? Assertion failed because I'm expecting should be false, but it was true. Means it is displayed. Okay, and here what is your message? Oh, it's a fail. Last name text box is displayed. So let us look at your result file too. So this file will be replaced whenever you execute it. So to keep history of your records, and that is also possible in TestNG, but those are advanced concepts we'll discuss later. Now open this. You see test home page is failed, and this is whatever your message. Java.long.assertion error. Oh, it's a fail. Last name text box is displayed. Expected is false, but found is true. Means expected it should not be displayed, but it was displayed. So this is how you can generate your HTML result file using TestNG. Okay, so that's all about today's session. So I hope this session given you a knowledge on TestNG installation steps and basic annotations and basic assertions. So I'm sure I'll come up with advanced session as a TestNG related framework web YouTube series. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you like it, please like it and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this.